Ever imagine achieving like a lifelong dream and then like almost immediately feeling that pull to get right back to work?
Yeah.
That's where we find Israel Adesanya fresh off becoming UFC middleweight champ.
Wow.
Forget the victory tour. He is already itching to get back in the gym.
Really?
We're going deep on this deep dive, unpacking this revealing conversation he had with Joe Rogan to uncover what makes this champ tick.
Yeah, what's so fascinating about Adesanya is that he's so self-aware. Like, he's so aware of the trappings of success. This isn't the typical narrative of like a fighter on top of the world. He recognizes that like the real work begins after the fight is won, you know?
Right. And you think, after all, that he would want to milk the spotlight. But he even talks about experiencing FOMO, missing the gym while he's out celebrating.
Well,
It's like that post-win high is fleeting, almost like a caffeine crash, as he describes it. He needs that grounding.
yeah, and that's the mark of a true champion, you know? It's not just about physical training, it's about mental discipline, like recognizing the danger of getting complacent. This is a guy who understands that the hunger can't fade even when you're holding the belt.
And that's something I think a lot of us can relate to, even outside of the octagon, that drive to keep pushing forward, that hunger for more. It's not always about external validation. It's about personal growth. You achieve one goal and suddenly you're already looking ahead to the next challenge.
Absolutely. And you know what really struck me was Adesanya's willingness to discuss the often overlooked aspects of being a champion. He opens up about his struggles with post-fight depression and seeking therapy.
It really does. And it just makes him so much more relatable because, you know, we don't often see that side of athletes, like especially at that level.
Right.
But seeing him so open about like seeking help, it normalizes mental health care, even for elite athletes.
Yeah, it does. It kind of reminds us that even champions face internal battles and that seeking help is actually a sign of strength. And it ties into another aspect of Adesanya that I just find so fascinating, and it's that he embraces the nerd label.
Yeah.
He doesn't shy away from intelligence and strategy at all. He recognizes them as sources of true power.
Totally. He is a thinker for sure. He talks about how crucial observation is, and he's not even just talking about like analyzing his opponents in the ring. He's talking about understanding the nuances of fame, social dynamics, like almost like his mind is constantly dissecting and looking for patterns and insights everywhere he goes.
Exactly. And he doesn't fall for the superficial. He sees how people kind of change their tune around those they perceive as important, putting on a facade to impress.
Oh, tell me about it. I have definitely had those moments where someone finds out I host a podcast and suddenly they're my new best friend showering me with compliments. It's like their whole demeanor shifts.
Yeah.
Adesanya sees right through that and it's so refreshing.
Yeah, it is. And he gives us a framework for dealing with it, you know?
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that those interactions are more about the other person's insecurities than our own worth.
Absolutely. You know what else is fascinating? He mentions this hilarious story about putting a persistent online commenter in their place.
Oh, really?
He doesn't go into detail in the podcast, but just from the way he describes it, you can tell he shut down that negativity with the same precision he uses to win fights.
Wow. That's that strategic mind at work, right?
Yeah.
Knowing when to engage, when to deflect, and when to walk away. It's a valuable skill whether you're in the octagon or navigating the comment sections.
Yeah.
But, you know, for all his sharp wit and analytical skills, what truly shines through with Adesanya is his heart. This isn't just a guy chasing titles.
Yeah.
You know, this is someone who wants to leave a legacy.
He really does, and he has this incredible drive to use his platform to give back, especially to his home country, Nigeria.
Yeah, his passion for empowering young people through combat sports is so inspiring. He talks about returning home as a champion and the impact it had, like particularly on the youth.
It's like he's showing them that anything is possible, like no matter where you come from. And you know, it reminds me of something we talked about earlier, that drive to keep pushing forward, that hunger for more. It's not just about personal achievements. It's about using your success to uplift others.
Exactly. And that brings us right back to the heart of what makes Adesanya so compelling.
Yeah.
It's not just about winning fights. It's about embracing challenges, constantly evolving, and using your influence to create positive change. So much of what we see from him in the octagon, the strategic thinking, the resilience, the self-awareness, it translates directly to life outside the ring.
It really does. It makes you wonder, what fights are we facing in our own lives that could benefit from that kind of mindset, that strategic approach, that willingness to embrace vulnerability, that dedication to constant improvement.
That's the question, isn't it? Because whether we're stepping into an actual ring or navigating the complexities of everyday life, those qualities are essential for achieving lasting success, whatever that looks like for each of us. Adesanya's journey reminds us that true strength comes not just from physical prowess, but from mental fortitude and a willingness to grow, and that's something we can all take with us long after this deep dive is over.